Hello, Frosty Fire 10 here, and this is a knife throwing class setup guide. Um, this is for throwing knife, not for stabbing knife, just to clarify. But you can use the throwing knife as a stab if you don't have a knife as your secondary. So does function in two different ways. So it replaces your main melee from your primary weapon with the throwing knife. So if you haven't already thrown it, so you can get melee kills that way. So we start with the equipping the throwing knife as your lethal. It's the one on the end, and you have to be. I can't remember what level you got to be. It takes a little while to get to it. So the main point we'll talk about. Field upgrade doesn't matter so much, although Dead Silence does function. I will explain Dead Silence. So Dead Silence temporarily makes your footsteps silent, gun melee and throwing knife kills refresh duration. So you can chain, using the throwing knife, you can chain Dead Silence for much longer periods, which can be very useful in multiplayer, depending on your luck and what sort of map you're on. That's going to be a bit more the positioning of you and the enemies, because again, spawns being what they are, that can change. So you can build up long chains of Dead Silence if you're going to get 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 kills in a row with your throwing knives. So that's usually when you position yourself behind the enemies, and then you manage to sneak up on one, you get the first one, you got to pick up the second one. As soon as you get to a body, you've got your scavenger. You multiply the number of knives you've got, because scavenger resupplies ammo and throwing knives from dead players, so it basically duplicates it. You can get plenty of knives. You get, I think, maximum 3, I think is the way it is, but it can go up. Let's see what happens. So, on to the perks, because you don't worry about the Dead Silence, you got to get kills for that. There's 2 different ways you can do this, so let's go in. So you can go with the Scavenger, Strong Arm, Fast Hands, and Quick Fix is the other one. This is again flexible. Most of these are flexible. So Scavenger, so you can get more knives. Just for situations where there are multiple enemies, so you're in a close quarters multiplayer map, you throw the knife, kill someone who's maybe they're running at you, and you kill them, and then you pick up your knife again, throw it at someone else. There's someone else, your teammate shoots someone, you get a knife from their corpse even though you didn't throw a knife at them. The Scavenger does that, so it does duplicate. Strong Arm, so it is optional. It's just it throws equipment further, and you see a preview of the trajectory. So for long shots, well, you throw the knife further. You can get a better long shot, and also enables you to see the tracking, so you can see like a white line where the knife is going to go. So I've done a couple of clips of long distance throwing knife kills. You can look on those. I use Strong Arm. Just helps with your aiming, but it isn't 100% necessary. It's just that it really, I think it helps just make it a little more comfort. So traditionally you don't have anything like this. So this is something there's been a bit of a change here in the Call of Duty. So actually encouraging the use of lethals over a longer distance, especially the throwing knife, because I don't feel like any of the others are really that. Semtex, maybe you'll try and stick someone from far away. Not so big a deal. Thermites and shock sticks, maybe not so much. And Depth Charge, you don't even need to, really have that. So it's primarily for throwing knives. So a throwing knife specific perk. If you didn't want Scavenger, and depending on the map you're playing, you could, you have choices. Tracker, again, you know where the enemies are, helps you sneak behind them, helps you get the kill in the first place. And you could do extra tactical for more stuns. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Speed is the other question. So if you want to move around quicker, it just double time just doubles the duration of tactical sprint. So if you're tactical sprinting around, you're probably going to be hard pressed to tactical sprint, aim and throw at anything further than like at an actual distance. You're going to be throwing at shorter distances. So you'd be sprinting around a corner, someone runs in front of you, and in that case you need fast hands. I'm going to tell you that it's only a small percentage increase in the decrease in the time it takes to release the knife, but in the combination of, say, double time, tac sprint, or any sprinting at all, and throwing your knife in close quarters, fast hands does give you a little bit of an edge compared to the alternative in this spot, which is resupply. So it's kind of, it's a feel thing. If you want to do long distance throwing knife kills and look really cool, because I think they look cool, still do, always look cool. I tell you, even back with the Tomahawk, Black Ops, resupply is your way to go because it refreshes after 25 seconds. So it just enables you to, if you're say on a tall building and you're just hucking those knives, just chucking them, hoping to get lucky, then you want resupply. It just, you have to have resupply. There's no other way to get more knives unless you got your Field Upgraders munitions box and you can get another knife from that. Again, that's just a bit of tediousness. But in close quarters matches, fast hands is really handy. Resupply also functions well. Invasion, Ground War, in maps that are sort of medium sized and certain situations. So I'd say in matches where you've got limited spawn. So in a multiplayer match like Search and Destroy, you've chucked your knife already, your resupply comes around, you get 25 seconds, and then suddenly you have another knife. And if you're playing just, I just want to use throwing knives, then yeah, that's probably a good consideration to have resupply. But otherwise, fast hands is superior. The quick fix, I think quick fix is good. Again, if you're trying to chain multiple kills, just getting a little bit of health regeneration can help. So it just, quick fix, killing players immediately triggers health regeneration. Capturing and holding objective increases health regeneration rate. It just gives you a tiny bit of healing. Now, your other options, of course, are high alert. That's just a given. So, just chances are, if you're planning on killing with just a throwing knife, and someone sees you before you see them, you're dead. There's no real anything about that. So don't worry about high alert. I think it's better off not playing the game with high alert. It's just a kind of a crutch people use, like heartbeat sensors. Just another crutch. Ghost. This is another one you can just slot in. It's probably best in slot in pretty much every build, just because you get the protection. Undetectable by UAVs, portal radars, and heartbeat sensors. The other way you could do it is you could do overclock with your dead silence and try and just, because you get the double up, so you can just keep spamming dead silence, which again for a melee, like if you were doing just knifing, really 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 helpful. But at the same time, it's like you throw away Ghost and just go, yeah, I'm just going to kill everyone, don't worry about it. Survivor's useless. And Bird's Eye, you'd think Bird's Eye would be useful because it gives you the direction of where they're looking, but it's just extra information to clutter your mind. Just too much to think about. Oh, they actually are looking that one direction. No, you're looking at the map. You're not looking what's in front of you. Focus on what's in front of you. Live and die by the knife. That's the way to go. So I'll keep quick fix. Again, could go overclock. It's all there. So really, your best in slots, your strong arm, scavenger for utility. You can go tracker. You can try and do double time, do for the speed. But again, if you are throwing knives, you want to get people. You don't want to do too many 1v1s where they see you, if you can avoid it. But if they do see you, you just got to pop it. You've just got to throw it. So again, you could probably even remove strong arm and just do scavenger and double time and just sprint around. Because if you're in 1v1s in multiplayer matches with people and you're using a knife, you haven't got time to just look at where the line's pointing and go, I'm going to nail it perfectly. You just have to trust that the aim assist that is there will get you close enough. And you just chuck the knife and hope for the best. Alright, so let's go to... So there is flexibility. Now, in terms of primary weapons, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. You want probably something with range. So again, shotgun, this one I've just put on a bunch of speed. And the knife has plenty of speed. So if you run around with a knife, you'll have enough speed. But again, you don't want to go too fast. You want to run yourself into stupid situations. Just be careful. Stun grenade in the tactical slot. This is you got plenty of room here. You can do all sorts of stuff. So flash or stun, just it's easy. Just chuck it, and you go around corners. Chuck it before you go around to a room. Maybe buy yourself a second. Stims, all this stuff's irrelevant. Snapshots, nah. If you throw these sorts of things, a snapshot grenade, then they know someone's coming. Tear gas, I really found tear gas to be quite irrelevant. So yeah, basic stun. You don't even want to be throwing your stun. I think you're better off just focusing entirely on throwing your knife, releasing your knife as quick as you can, chaining your dead silence, scavenging the bodies, fast hands, throwing the next knife, throwing the next knife, throwing the next knife. And then you've got your quick fix, you're getting your healing. So it doesn't matter what weapon you have, but again, you'll ask the question, Riot Shield. Is it better now? Is it worthwhile doing the Riot Shield with the throwing knife? Is that the because this was the kind of the age-old strat since the entrance of the Riot Shield, is that you would, hold the Riot Shield, you wait till they reload, you throw your knife. Get them. Easy. But I'd say the vulnerability you have when you go for the throwing knife, you open yourself up. Basically, the Riot Shield becomes invisible. It completely disappears the moment you go to throw the knife. So fast hands does help because you go a little bit faster, but it's really a small percentage difference. That the reduced time it takes you to release the knife. It's so much so that you're probably going to, you're still going to lose. You're going to get killed a couple of times and you'd be like, the shield should still be there. It's like you put the shield behind your back, then throw the throwing knife. That's the way it feels, and the way it plays it's really, really frustrating. So again, the problem with the shield is it attracts attention. I'll probably do another video about this, but it is a big thing, so it does stand out, and I find it's much easier just to go with a normal weapon and just throw, because they don't suspect it. Because if you have a shield, maybe they'll go, oh, you might do the knife, and then they'll throw a depth charge at your shield, and it's like, the drill charge, and it's like, what? That's the dumbest thing ever. Drill charge, god damn, stupid. But yeah, so don't worry too much about the weapons. You can use what you like. If anything, a sniper rifle or a marksman rifle is fine too, because you'll have the range covered, long distance range, unless you're really going for those knife throws at distance. Oh, I want to talk about it was fast hands too, wasn't it? You had the extra. Where's the one with the extra one? Oh, whatever. It's fine. No, there is one. Come on. Which one is it? Quickly, remember. Not focus. Yeah, resupply also gives you additional lethal. So that was the other point I was going to make. Back on resupply, you get 2, so you'll have double knives, and that can be really handy as well, especially if you want to get multiple kills. So again, that does put resupply, ahead of fast hands, as you have more knives, which is good. Yeah. So hopefully this helps if you want to go out there and troll people with throwing knives, because yes, the troll value is very high. It is so good when you hit people with a throwing knife. Back like in the old, tomahawks are okay. They bounced around a lot. Throwing knives bounce around too. There's some funky stuff you can do in the big areas, in the invasion. You can bounce the knife off from a high surface and it can go quite far. So I'm interested to see some more clips like that. That should be quite good. But yeah, this has been a throwing knife class setup guide by Frosty510. Like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.